But there you go, all you train guys. Sean Ricard, here we are in the Black Forest, and that is a 146-2 locomotive pulling. And another one pushing. Yep. So we have just arrived at Quebec. So now we just got to find our way to, which I assume is the... we are in the literally the heart of the Black Forest. We are about an hour and a half by train north of where we are in Freiburg, and 40 miles south of Offenburg, which we had to go to come here. So literally we are like dead center of the Black Forest.
And out of consideration for non-smokers, smoking is permitted in the designated areas only. Thank you.
So here we have the double Steuerwagen. Whole bunch of trains down there waiting to come in or pull out. But our ICE is coming. We've been on ICE 4s every time we've had an ICE. But here comes our ICE 4 right now. Joyce and I have arrived at the Berchtesgaden train station. Don't even know what we're going to do yet other than try to hike somewhere.
This channel is a not-so-proud member of YouTube's all-encompassing special society of heavily overwhelmed layout enthusiasts. Check any railway show, check any railway club, check any layout, check your own house. You'll find one of us somewhere. Warning, the content of this stream is not suitable for children under the age of 16. The topic, language, themes, attitude, and personality of the presenter is not appropriate for anyone, much less children under the age of 16. Topics discussed will not center on trains and will focus on anything except politics. It just happens trains are running. Any similarity between characters, situations, trains, and intelligent thoughts is strictly a coincidence. Any rebroadcast or transmission of the stream without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is strictly prohibited. Viewer discretion is advised. Remember the 3 rules for model train layouts and pretty much anything. It's your layout, do what you want as you want. Do not tell someone else what to do unless they ask you directly what they should do. Do not call out, mock, criticize, or insult another channel on your channel or anyone else's channel. Thank you for your cooperation.
And see it, you'll love it, and it's all done in the best possible way.
Hey everybody, happy Friday. Yes,
As I always say, it's Friday again. Hard to believe a week has passed, but it has. We've loaded 16 tons, and what do we get? Another day older and closer to death. That's where we're at. Be that as it may, how's everybody doing on the other side of the screen? Let me see who's all coming in. There are some people that have commented, but they're not on my list yet. But we'll go with James Galton from Dundas Junction Model Railway. Welcome in. Andy, the hot dog pilot, great to have you here. Ifo Van Zon, I don't know if you saw my reply to your comment, but yes. John Benicki is here, nice to have you. Joseph Agliato, our Sergeant at Arms of the Knights of the Rhomboid Table here. Leslie Gilpin, how are you, sir? Another great video today. Dino from the Model Railway Shed, nice to have you here, my friend, as well. Tammy and Ray, mom and son train rail fans. I will say hi to Joyce as soon as I see Joyce. You'll see Joyce about the same time I see Joyce if you're still here when she comes down. Mysterious Mechanic, welcome in. Raymond Legs, great to have you here. Simon from SJ Train World, great to have you here. Stephen the Plumber is here, and Wolfsec Scenics PW is here. Nice to have you all here. I'm just checking to see if people are popping in as I'm greeting everyone. Okay, so from here on in, I can move this over to live chat and keep up with people coming in that way. Yeah, I'd like to say not a lot to talk about because there really isn't, but obviously the big news was I put up a video where I talked about these things. This is becoming quite a story in and of itself, and I've got a lot of people telling me conflicting information, so both what locomotive goes with it, because the one website I got this from says to get model 78488, and another website and a couple of people said no, you want 79219, but either way, neither are available. It doesn't matter. And these, unfortunately, you can't just add them to any Loco. They have to be added to a Loco with the special connector that I was showing in the video. This is not my first train that has the special PCB pin connecting system. I just call it a computer connection because it reminds me of the old days when I used to put computers together back in the 80s. And you just slid pins in and soldered everything. I mean, technically it's not a computer thing, but I like to just keep it simplistic for ideas. But yeah, these couplers can only go with locomotives that have that kind of pin coupler. The 4-pole pin coupler, as they call it in German, or a PCB coupler, however you want to phrase it. My Märklins actually have a 5-pin. I believe it's 5-pin. ROCO has 4. So there are only specific ROCOs. Now, the thing is, I have wanted to get a really good quality Railjet set of cars. Even though I have a Czech Railjet, and again, when I say Railjet today, more often than not, I mean the Czech Railjet. I love the Czech Railjet. In fact, I bought my Czech Railjet before I bought my Austrian Railjet, just because I couldn't find the Austrian Railjet. And then I bought it in pieces because I got the Loco first and then the matching car sets a couple of months later because I had to save up money to do that. They are expensive. Now, the thing is, these are normally relatively expensive. This is the 4-car set. This is the 4-car set. And again, I'm just showing you the box. I don't want to mess with these because there is a possibility I'm going to turn around and sell these because somebody has the locomotive I want and this same set of cars for a decent price. It'd be a bit more than if I could buy the Loco, but and what I paid for these. But I paid less than what these are valued, even on the American market. These were basically never used. I think they were probably maybe taken out of the package once, twice if you count me taking them out of the package yesterday. But they've never been run. And a gentleman was clearing out his collection or his father's collection, and he sold these for a lot less than they're worth. I mean, I think the 4-car set goes for, in fact, I'm seeing it online for well over $400. So if you just imagine this 4-car set and then the matching 3-car set, roughly $100 a wagon, that's the asking price. You will see it higher at shops, like $450 and $350. I got these. I got the 4-car set for about $340, and I got the 4-car set for about $340, $350, and I got the 3-car set for $220. So combined, I paid just under $600 for the 7-car set. Well, about 500, 600 and whatever it came to with shipping and that. Yeah, it does. So you have the 3 cars, including the Steuerwagen, and then what is considered the front car. But be that as it may, I'm familiar with these. I know the ROCOs, I know the Railjets. This is one of the few trains where I know the proper running order and everything. So when I had it set up yesterday, if you were able to see it on a TV or something like that rather than a phone, I had the cars all in order, starting with car 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, going through the list. So this is one of those areas where I'm familiar with it. The only thing is this was such a good price. I talked myself into getting it thinking somewhere I will find the locomotive. Some shop will have it, and obviously that's not the case. And that's going to be a little bit of frustration. Yeah, this is definitely an interesting train set. They're gorgeous cars, as I was showing in the video yesterday, which is why I did the video, just to show them, but also get the word out there. More people want to educate me, and I'm like, and this is a case where I'm educated. This is a case where I understand how it works and how it goes. The one thing I'm not sure of, and the reason I'm not sure is because I talk to people that are more experienced in this than me, and I get different answers. So I talked to one of the techs at my Modell Bond Shop Lipa, and he said, well, no, the cars are primed to work with the locomotive that's supposed to go with them. And then he turned around and said, but you can use locomotives with older cars. And I'm like, oh, wait, would you clarify that? My friend Luma told me that you can intermix the cars. And the reason I'm doing that is because I can get, it's not a Czech Railjet Taurus, but I can get a Railjet Taurus, a new release one from ROCO that has the 4-pin coupler, and I will buy it for now if it is in fact something I could use with these cars. And then when I can find the Czech Railjet locomotive, I will then buy it, and I'll just have that extra Taurus. To me, that's a no loss. Hey, little history, welcome in. Andy Dobson just came in. How are you? Daz Faulkner, great to have you here. New job, 14, 16 hours a day. Yikes. That's not fun, and I've done those. When I was an asbestos remover, it was be at work at 4 and out at 6 to 8 p.m. They were long days. Long days. Kyle Stevens, great to have you here. So anyhow, now it's just a combination of trying to find one of the locals that work, or a local that will work. Because again, I got some people saying, no, it's proprietary. In other words, only the 79219 or only the 78488 locomotive will work with these cars. Other people are saying, no, any ROCO with the 4-pin coupler on it will work with these cars. And so when I get 3 people or 4 people tell me one thing and 3 or 4 people tell me the other thing, that's where I'm confused. And everybody that's talking to me, they know for a fact. And this is, why I don't give advice and why I usually don't ask for advice, because you will always get
conflicting opinions and you're left hanging. So we'll see how it goes. I'm waiting to hear back from a couple of other train tech people that know about these things. I've even written ROCO and asked them. I'm waiting to hear back from them. I asked specifically, will this locomotive, and this locomotive work with them? I really toyed with the idea of plugging in my Austrian Railjet into these cars to see if it would work. And then I thought, you know, there might be a 1 in a million chance I would blow the decoder in my ROCO Austrian Railjet, so I won't do that. So anyhow, that's that. I've been midweek. I was probably a little sick. I haven't been feeling great all week. Not that I backed off doing anything, but so this was supposed to be a high point, and it's become a stress point because, again, every couple hours I open up an email and somebody's texting me or emailing me trying to tell me what to do with these, or they're explaining to me stuff I do know. You know, I realize I come across with trains as a bit of a idiot, which frustrates me because I'm not an idiot, but I play one on TV. But sometimes you get too much information, it just makes it worse. All right, so enough of that for now. Let's just get to the trains running. The only theme today is a few of my squeakier locomotives. I've got in front, you can see, speaking of railjets, I've got the Austrian Railjet ready to go. And then I've got the ICE4, which ran well yesterday, but when I was doing a little test run before stream here, it was squeaking a little. So, we'll have to look into that. Probably time to clean the track again anyhow, maybe clean the wheels on some of these vehicles. I've got my Czech, since I can't run my Czech Railjet, I'm running my Czech ICEC. Freighters seem to be popular with many of you, so I'm running a Class 187 locomotive with a container freight train. And then behind that, you can see the Alex with the Hercules 223 locomotive. And then way in the back, I'm running my Class 442 Talent 2 Regio Bond EMU back there. So let's get the trains in motion. Yesterday, Kai and I ran these for about an hour and a half between our two little stints down here. And they were running nice, but maybe I ran them too much yesterday. Let's not get them too fast here. And then, Really? You had to do that, did you? Okay, so let's go and I'll get this. Come on, what's going on? Oh, that's why. So I'll set this on the multi-view while I get the UK stuff running on the floor. All right, let me catch up on anything. John Mystic just came in. How are you? One of the Steves is here. I did not see you come in. Sorry, I was distracted messing with all this. So if you go to the floor cam, I'm running my two high-speed UK trains. I'm running the EuroStar, Yellow Submarine EuroStar, and I'm running the Azuma Class 800, my favorite UK train. So now we'll go back up to the multi-view for a few minutes, and then I'll work in and try to be more diligent about showing bigger screen views of everything. Well, I always love running them, and that's my favorite thing about the live stream is it makes me come down here and run the trains. Whether I'm in the mood to run them or not, I'm always in the mood to do my live stream and talk to people. Yeah, Ifo, I totally agree with you because I had people in my ear telling me that they would work that way before I ran them. Unfortunately, my ESU did not like pulling those cars, so I literally switched them up right before I did the live stream. For whatever reason, it did not like pulling those cars. It was losing them, and I matched couplers, changed out couplers to match. It was losing them. It was struggling pulling them up the inclines. And so I gave up and just said, fine, you take the lighter weight cars and I'll give the 218 the other cars. So that's one of those things. That's why I put it out last week that the consist were not going to be exact or even close to exact. It was just whatever I could get to pull whatever in whatever direction. Hey, Andy March West Junction, how are you? Yeah, it's a world famous bridge. That's what's over the UK stuff. And trust me, I've got people telling me I should just ditch my UK stuff. And I'm like, no. Joyce just wants me to build. Joyce just wants me to get off my butt and build something over the layout and put them up and get them off the floor there. And I keep trying to think what's the best way I could do it because I really could not put up a middle support beam, which is what it would need. They would need something in the middle of this table. In fact, I'll go and show you. Let's see, where is the long view? This one. So if my thought is I would build something about 2 foot up over this section. So about 2 foot, maybe 30 inches high over this and run it straight across. Either put it at this end or try to put it over here and just run an 8-foot table because this is 8 foot already. And I just have to put I'd have to put a few beams in to support it. I'd have to get some 2x2s to support the weight. I mean, I don't want to do 2x4s, so I'd have to put a few 2x2s, and build the box frame and then have some sort of support here. And I don't want to put a lot of supports in the way of all the buildings that I'm doing there. And I know you guys in loft do that. You build around the roof supports in your loft and that. So yes, I can do it, and there are ways to do it. I'm just still, with so many things, I'm just in a thought hold. I gotta do a Berliner Hawkbahn. I saw that the other day. Somebody just released a model of it, the Berliner Hawkbahn. Hey, Tim, there you are. We missed you last week. Hope you're well. Our Chief Executive Officer for the Knights of the Rhomboid Table. Nice to have you here. But, yeah, I'm not going to run those trains too much. And I did that last week partly because my buddy Jean Ricard suggested, he said he was going to be off last Friday. And he wanted to see those horse cars running. And so I was like, okay, how am I going to get them all in? And then I just said, to heck with it. I'm just going to run all my trains that are non-Era 6, and it worked. I have 6 non-Era
I have 6 non-Era 6 trains or locomotives, and I was able to throw something up and just run it for fun, because it's just fun to see them. I mean, I am uptight about proper consist. It's the only thing I guess I'm a rivet counter about. I do want my trains to look the way they look when I see them and ride them in Germany. But when it comes to freight, I don't even know what a proper consist is. Other trains, it's just getting the cars. And I really don't want to go down the hole of starting to buy, because Märklin right now has a bunch of cars that would go with the Märklin 218 that I have. They're all lit up. They've got a first class car, a Steuer, you know, an N car. They call it a Steuerwagen, but it really doesn't look like a Steuerwagen. And a second class car, and you can buy them in any, and it's definitely mid to late 70s, early 80s train with that ocean blue and beige coloring. They're gorgeous cars, and I almost bought them this week. I was like, what the hell, I'll buy it. But then I'm like, I just got all these cars from Horst, and I bought some matching cars. Joyce would probably shoot me if I turned around and bought new versions when I've got these old tin plates that I'm supposed to be cleaning up and revitalizing. Hey, Randall Ellison is here. How are you? You have the issues with 44 to 46, the 1 to 8 scale. Wow. Anyhow, by the way, welcome in from New Zealand. No, from Deutschland. Dominic Z, DE. Guten Abend. Let us knight you. I now declare you a knight of the rhomboid table. All right, Dominic, if you have a channel and you do videos, you can post a link to your channel. I encourage everybody to advertise their channels, although most people here probably sub to everybody else here already. You booked your miniature Wonderland trip for October. Now, how many times have you been there? Hey, Jean Ricard just came in, heard his name and woke up. Hey, Chris, great to have you here. I can't tell you how often that happens in my neighborhood, my little city but suburban-like neighborhood, my peaceful. Nails everywhere all the time. Somebody's always getting a roof done or whatever else. I have lost so many tires in the 30 years I've lived in this house. It'll be your first time. Oh, that's awesome. Ifo, I know you already know that, and me saying it to you would be kind of silly, but I'm sure you've seen it in videos and everything else, but there's nothing like standing there. It's just so cool. Amazing place. I will not go to Germany without going there. No matter what trip we're planning to Germany, Joyce knows we're going to Hamburg for a couple of days so I can go to Miniature Wonderland. To be honest, I wouldn't mind going back to the Märklin and Porsche, but I won't try to do that all in one trip again. The one thing, what was it? This week, there is a large model train, HO model train display in the town of Neuhausen am Rheinfall. This small Swiss town where the Rheinfalls are. Joyce and I were in the Rheinfalls. Nobody told us that there was literally a model train shop about 300 meters from where we stood before we went down to the Rheinfalls. We would have gone. We caught a video of it. Somebody said, hey, this is the little... Oh, it was the video Pilentum, the webpage Pilentum. Advertised this little Rheinfall site that is open, and they've got this big Swiss model railway, including a model of the Rheinfalls. And I'm like, oh my God, all the model trains we did, Märklin World, the Märklineum, Porsche's Traumwerk, Miniature Wonderland, and we were not even a quarter of a mile. We were a 6-minute walk away from a really cool model train museum with a big display layout, and we didn't know it was there. That's heartbreaking, because I don't think we'll ever be back in that part of Germany or Switzerland again. I doubt we'll go to the Rheinfalls again in our life, but maybe this is an excuse. All right, so nobody's on this side, but yeah, there they come. Come on, move. No, that's too far, Yeah, I hate to take the train out of the corner there, but I don't know, maybe I could put it on the other side of the table. Have I heard of it? Only in the most vaguest concept. Are we still meeting at Nagel? Of course we are. Of course we are. That's true, Randall. Gravel roads can kill you. All right, I am trying to catch up with chat now that I've got some things running and I've had my little venting operation. I'm making sure I've said hello to everybody that's here. But I know of the De Agostini magazine, and they do all kinds of different collections. They did a Beatles album collection. Yeah, they did a Beatles album collection, and that's the only way I know them. That is the only way I know the magazine, is they did a Beatles album collection where if you bought the albums from them, you got all these cool things. Am I going to be building the Grafmühle? That is in the planning stages, yes. The thing is, and I don't have a good view to show this, so I'll do my best. Well, I'll tell you what, I do have a good view to show this. So I'm going to take you guys. Let's see if I can do this. I'm going to try to explain one of the holdups on my actually building a layout to go with all these beautiful trains I have. So let me use this new camera, which I now have kind of for this reason. Okay, now I do have shaky hands, so you'll have to bear with me. All right, so here is Delmenhorst. Now, this amount of buildings, these buildings here are arranged in a very loose translation of the 3 housing blocks, or actually 4 housing blocks, and 3 roads that lead to the train station. But in reality, there are actually 3 blocks going. There's 3 roads that lead to the train station. Actually, there's 4, but one of them angles into the other one, and they lead to the train station. Okay? So, right here, 3 blocks south of the train station, so you could actually think that where I'm standing from is south of the train station. The train station there is north of where I am. This is where the town hall, the water tower, and the market square would be. The town hall would be here, the market square here, the water tower over here. And across the street across the street, which is technically where I got these tracks here, because I'm planning on putting the market square here, would be the Grafwerk restaurant and the gymnasium, the school that I did my exchange program with for 13, 14 years. So I would have to kind of shunt everything that way, because what I want to do is run the Fowler car system here, right next to the tracks. I'm going to expand my car system into this area here, and then have the market square with the town hall, the water tower, and then the market square, and then just have 2 of the blocks going to the train station. And then the Fowler car system would come around, and I'd either have a bridge up over here, you know, since I've got a bridge. So it would go over the track or between the track here. And then I'm planning on trying to build the Weser River right here. Build the Weser River right here. But I would like to see if I could get the Fowler car system, but obviously I'd have to completely rearrange the track lines here and have the Fowler car system running into Berlin and have that represent, oh, what is it, the A30 or A3, maybe it's the A3 highway that goes from Delmenhorst to Bremen. And then that would be my Bremen side. So the thing is, I would have to really redesign how I'm setting this up. But before I can do anything, I need my town hall, which is impossible for me to make. I can make the water tower, maybe. So yeah, well, that'll at least give me a chance to set this down and move things back. Okay. So, Playmobil, no, I didn't. When I was well, I shouldn't say very little. In the 70s, when my younger brother was very little, he had some Playmobil sets. And then they became just impossible to find, at least in this part of the United States, and they were so expensive. So anything Playmobil did after the mid-70s, I don't know anything about other than when I saw them at toy shows and toy fairs. Hey, Tom Couples is here. Nice to have you, Tom Couples. Welcome in. But anyhow, that is, that's a couple of the holdups, is I need to figure out how I'm going to make that town hall. I want the town hall, and I want it to be as accurate as possible, and I can't build it anymore. There are so many windows in a unique shape. It's very, and unlike the station, if I had immediately followed up the station, even when I was doing the station, I started having the problems with my hands so bad where it was hard to work. So to try to custom build and custom cut, and I'm not computer graphic literate to try to design it 3D. I use Tinkercad to design some things, but the town hall has some very unique and interesting little arrangements that make it hard to scratch build in any way, shape, or form for me. There'll be a brief delay while, dude. So, yeah, and yeah, the PIKO, and on top of that, let's just talk about the couplers. PIKO uses standard European couplers, and ROCO with other Railjets that I've ever seen. Maybe they make some standard El Cheapo cars, but every Railjet I've seen, Czech or Austrian from ROCO, are these PCB connections. So that makes it a little Hey, Kieran's here. Howdy, Kieran. Which ones? I bought a from eBay. I bought a buffet and sleeping wagon set. I bought a buffet sleeping wagon set, but I didn't get the one that was the was it the sleeping wagon, and then 2 more of the same passenger cars I have. I did buy off of UK eBay. I bought the buffet wagon and the a guy was on the buffet wagon and the sleeping car. No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that Märklin had the Thomas. I've never even seen a Märklin Thomas. Did they ever release anything in Thomas, Dominique? Whoops. I can't do it that way. I gotta do it this way. My offer still holds. I'll pay $500, and I can negotiate up. I will pay $500 if somebody can get the plans to the Delmenhorst station, the Delmenhorst Rot House, the town hall, and the water tower, because it's really all part of one complex. And if somebody could do that, I would be willing to pay $500 for the 3D print and the work somebody did. And like I said, there's a guy in Germany who did a 3D rendering of the complex for a class, and I've written him several times asking, will you let me have it? Will you send me your specs and let me change it to 187 scale or 195 scale? And he never answers. He did it for a class, an architectural design class. Wow, Dominic, I have never seen them, ever. I have never seen Märklin versions of the Thomas, guys. Hey, there is our buddy, Lord Al. Lord of Lavie and wherever else. And his 2 square meters. How you doing, Al? I saw you got a new video up. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. But first, you gotta get the 3D design, and you know I'm always looking at all the companies. And I know they're now basically owned by 2 companies, but like Fowler, Keebry, Fulmer, and Enoch Buildings. There is a company that says they will build it. MBZ, if you send them the specs, they will build it for you. But that's the problem. I can't get the specs. Togolino? Is that an Italian channel? I've never heard of the channel Togolino. I've never seen it on any cable offering when I've been in Germany. Granted, I don't watch a lot of TV, and if I'm in Germany and there's a situation where I'm watching TV, I'm usually watching N24 or CNN Europe, or I might be watching like SDR. Depends on what they have on. Or if there's a soccer match on, a football match on, I'll watch that on Das Erste or Zweite, ZDF. And the thing is, this kid clearly got the specs. I wonder if I could find that, if I can find that page for you and bring it up here and show it to you guys.
Let's see. Let's go to some pictures where maybe you can see a little bit bigger. That's not a bad one to watch while I look this up. So I will go, come on, here. Is it in Germany sites or train sites? I think it's in train sites. Okay, so it's not there. Rostock, I've got to add that in. Let's see. Train stuff. Ah, there we go. So let's see if I can pull this up. I'll just do it on this screen. Come on, mouse. Quit acting up. Let's add Windows Capture. Okay, that's where I want it. All right, so I'm going to turn this off just for a second. Okay, so this is a project this young gentleman did. He 3D rendered Delmenhorst, the complex, and this is what I need. Now, mind you, the buildings he has over here are not accurate. What he has here, that's not really here. I'm trying to see if I can enlarge these somehow. Still won't let me. Yeah, it's still not going to let me. Normally I can enlarge this, but I don't know why it's not letting me. And you can see my comment. But he designed the whole complex, and that's what I need. I need these buildings from the water tower here and this over. This other stuff I can still build myself. But it's... He just did an amazing job, and this is what I need. And he built this to a scale, I think it said on his page, it was like 1 to 200 scale or something like that he built. Yeah, I keep saying he, it's a her. Sorry, Cordula. Cordula Gorsdorf. Cordula Gorsdorf. But yeah, I mean, this is beautiful. And if I could get somebody to 3D print that, it would be. You can see there's a few of my comments there begging for them to contact me, telling them I will pay. All right, let's go back to trains running. Enough of that now. Hey, Luma, how are you? Märklin reused most of the Hornby. That's interesting to know. I really did not know Märklin. A house for rats. Which football are you watching? All right, Togolino was part of RTL. Okay, I know RTL, and I know they had a bunch. Yeah, Raymond, that's my thought, is that I actually know how to upscale the numbers if he would just send me his numbers. If he would send me his design
And I've offered to pay them for it. And I've explained I'm just a modeler. And I keep saying him, but it's a her. It's been several months to a year since I last contacted him. And I say him, but it's a her, Cordula. So to me, it is just either having somebody have done the real hard work and graphically design it, and then I can change it to 187 scale, and I can print it on my own printer. I don't have a problem with that. It's the design itself I have problems with. Using Tinkercad, I've tried with Tinkercad, and I screw things up nonstop. I try to print a wall at a time and hope I can do it together, but designing the windows, because they have these hexagon windows. Hey, Ian's here. Hi there, Ian. Just popping in from halftime. I understand. I wondered why I wasn't getting the viewers. It's football time. Oh, I know Bexhill West. I've got people that have said, I'll get back to you, and then they don't get back to me. But, you know, the biggest thing is, and trust me, I went online and used Google Earth and Google Measurements to estimate and guesstimate the length and even the height of the building. Because I had to do that with my, train station. I used Google Earth to get the measurements of the platforms, the depth, and the width, and the height. And then I had pictures of me standing right next to the wall and right next to the door, and I know how tall I am, so I could extrapolate that, accounting for as the angle goes up, as the angle goes up. You know, in other words, straight on, 6 foot is 6 foot. Okay? But as you start looking up, what looks like, well, that's another 6 foot, might actually only be 5 foot. Because it gets stretched out as you look at the angle. So I accounted for that, and I nailed it. So I got the math skills. I know how to adapt that, but it's getting certain key dimensions right on a roundhouse. It's one thing with basically a one-story subterranean station. It's another thing when it's a 4-story with a high tilted roof. Then it really gets hard to get the exact measurements. You found the Scalextric, which is the Kickline race car set from 2005 today. I know them for slot cars, although I was more of a Carrera guy. Did you get? I didn't see on Facebook if you posted that you finished it, but you're pleased with how it came out. That's good. I know how hard you've been working on it. Hey, I see Curly's here and Timber Surf's here. Hi, Timber Surf. Well, you need to show those Raymond legs. We need to see. And Hi is here. Hello, Hi. How are you? I missed your live feed on Tuesday, but Kyan was not going to let me watch TV. Normally he'll give me an hour. I just like, Kyan, I just need an hour. Play here or sit there or sit on my lap and we'll watch it together. But Kyan was not going to let me watch live feeds. I didn't even get to make it through Mark's on Thursday. Kyan was in 100% energy mode this week.
And I don't say that as a negative. But he was, let's go, go, go. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Come on, Opa. And did I see somebody mention... Tony Northeastern? No, oh yeah. Well, the problem is Tony Northeastern is building all his stuff. I'm not going to ask him to build one for me because that would be a monster build. Because even then, I could... You know, Galgrim Hall, Paul from Galgrim Hall does custom builds for people. In fact, he's been so busy doing custom builds for people, he doesn't post on YouTube anymore. Ask Timber. Well, like I said, I put a $500 beginning negotiation, like right there, $500. And if that doesn't perk up ears, like I said, I've got Google aerial, you know, Google Maps and Google Earth aerial pictures. I've got various angles. At one time, and I don't know what I did with it, about 3 years ago, right after I got done building the Delmenhorst station, I started planning to build the town hall, and I started it with some foam board, some modeling cardstock, and I could not get the windows right. Even if I measured and squared everything out like Tony Northeastern does, I just still could not get those windows to cut right. And then there were all these little nuances in it that I just felt like I couldn't do. And then I built the bus station because I thought that would be easier to do. And by the time I did the bus station and then put a bunch of models together, it was obvious that my custom building days are mostly over. Building models is more and more challenging. I have started building some models for my Matt Clark diorama. And yeah, that's proving to be a little bit of fun, applying, you know, where it says, add just a dab of glue. And I'm like, dab of glue where? Come on, pick the middle. Actually, Tom Couples, yes, I have. Actually not the mayor, but the city council and the city planner of Delmenhorst, and asked them, and I've told them why, and I've told no for security reasons. All right, well, let me check that out. Whoops, wrong way, wrong way. Do it again, bow, bow, bow. Take two. Oh, I know what we haven't done. Let's see how the floor is doing. They're kind of quiet all of a sudden. Yeah, they're just racing around. There's the EuroStar. I probably got the EuroStar going too fast. There's the Azuma, but they are high-speed trains. But I assume the people in there are getting whiplash. There, that's a little better. Well, these chairs, if they find a wire, they will grab it. There you are. Bam! And now we're on. All right, well, I'll take a look at your channel when I have time. I've actually hit a point where it's that Cayenne speed. I will neither confirm nor deny. That's OPA speed. Although, whoops, not the camera I wanted, since I don't have anything. Since Joyce likes to tease me because my friend Arthur, O-Gauge and Slot Cars channel, he is all about speed. He's always teasing me. He says, Anthony, you got to get those cars going full speed. Come on. All right, well, I will check those out, Dominic. If you go look, you should see I just subscribed. But for all of you that are freight train guys, that's the best I can do for you. All right, the best I can do is run my other freight train as well, but you know what I mean. Hell yeah? I say hell no. I don't know, did Hi comment on my shirt today? Or EFO, did either of you comment on my shirt today? This t-shirt is 21 years old. I just didn't know if the two Dutch gentlemen, I mean, I know legally you're not allowed to say Holland anymore other than to refer to that region, but that's what it was. I bought this at Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. Ha! I go to 11 lane just when there's absolutely nobody there. Burned my lip on pizza last night. Homemade pizza, too. All right, Timber, I will contact you. If you can put some together, we can negotiate a price. Because this is a big model. This is a big building. It's not just, you know, this would be... Well, if you think of some of those big Fowler model kits, they're big corner things. It's bigger than that. It would be a large building plus the tower. But yeah, I will contact you. Let me jot that information down. I mean, I know you're on Facebook, and I think, but I will just open that link up. What the heck was that?
That sounds like my GoPro camera shutting off. What was that? Oh, did I leave that camera on? Well, why would it just now be shutting off? Ah, well. No, I have not, Dominic. In the wagon in front of me. In Wagen vor mir. At least if I ever heard it, I never knew that it had that name. But, no, sadly, my German music knowledge is limited to the party songs I heard German kids and their parents playing at all the festivals when we were over, when I was doing the exchange program, and then the German rock and roll I knew, stuff like Peter Schilling and Nina Hagen. Oh crap, what was the Austrian rapper from the 80s? Died on a motorcycle. Rock Me Amadeus and all that. Oh my god, my brain's going. Falco, thank you, Falco. Oh, I'm getting old and the brain is starting. Too many things stored in there. Makes it hard going through the files. It's a Windows 11 artificial intelligence world, and I'm still running Windows 3.1 in my brain. Im Wagen vor mir fährt ein junges Mädchen, sie fährt allein und sie scheint hübsch zu sein. Nope, not ringing any bells. Oh my. Reminds me of a story of my mother.
See it, you'll love
Whoops,
it.
sorry about that. My mouse is acting up a bit. So it's suddenly jumping up just as I click on something. My mother, her two parents were born in Germany. Okay? Her parents were born in Germany. They emigrated to the United States when they were around 10. My grandfather Ritz and Milbret
And she was Willems. W-I-L-L-E-M. Which I always thought looked like a Dutch spelling, but she was Rhinish. But it was Willems, W-I-L-L-E-M-S, Willems. But her family was Rhenish, or Rhinish, depending on what accent you want to go with. But my mom never, they didn't teach my mom German. My mom didn't know any German. But because she had it in her blood, I got it when I was in American high school, so beginning with 9th year of school, I got a German pen pal. We were taking German and we got pen pals. And the first letter I got from my pen pal, I was trying to use my textbook to read. My mom's like, oh, let me see that. And she takes the letter and she is trying to translate it, act like, my parents were German, I can know what this says. It's like, my mom's translation was so lost, you'd think my mom was on acid because she was misinterpreting everything. See, there you go. Somebody says it sounds like a song from Hans Blum. Have I ridden the Klima one? No. No, I've only ridden the standard one. In fact, outside the container freight train, I've ridden every train I'm running today. I've ridden on an Alex, I've ridden on an IC4. Heck, Joyce and I rode IC4s everywhere in Germany this year. And then we took the Railjet, Salzburg to Vienna and Vienna to Bamberg. That was nice. First class. That was nice. He was voiced by Gottfried Kramer. Gottfried Kramer does a lot of voices. Yeah, that would make sense though, Ifo. It would make sense it's close to that dialect. Although I don't know my Dutch dialects per se, but knowing where the Rhinish accent tends to be and where Limburg is, that would make sense. Ich weiß nicht Ihren Namen und ich kenne nicht Ihr Ziel. Ich merke nur, sie fährt mit viel Gefühl. Need more rhyme. I don't know her name. And I'm not familiar with her, and I don't know her destination. I only know, I just noticed that she rides with a lot of feelings. Yes, they do, Raymond. Yes, they do. One of the funny things is, Joyce and I rode
red versions of those Alex cars, and then Deutsche Bahn seemed to get rid of them all. The first 2-3 years we were in Germany, we rode those Endverkehr and Silberlinge type coaches quite a bit, especially when we were going to out of the way towns, which, you know, those off the beaten path towns get the crappier cars. You know, the big cities and the main lines get the new stuff, and then everything gets passed down. You know, it's like hand-me-downs to your younger siblings. Nina Hagen was undescribably feminine. Hey, Andy T, how are you? Hast du etwas Zeit für mich? Singe ich ein Lied für dich von 99 Luftballons. Irgendweg zum Horizont. Denkst du vielleicht gerade an Mensch? Singe ich ein Lied für dich. I'm sorry. Oh, Falco. Well, I got introduced to Falco in 1981, 82, when my friend Mike Thompson came back from his first tour of duty in Germany. His first tour in Germany. And he just knew I was in high school and into everything German, and he just bought me a bunch of records, and he brought me Falco and Nina Hagen. I don't know how easily it would be to get them. They're in one of these 2 rooms, but I forget which one. But I've got the albums. I've got 3 Falco albums that he brought back over the years. Alles klar, Herr Kommissar. So I remember hearing the full German version of Rock Me Amadeus before because he always did. After the UK group, the British group, after the fire, did his song Der Kommissar. His original German version started getting played in America on MTV and that. So he started releasing songs that were either mostly English or half English, half German. Like Rock Me Amadeus, which became huge in America. But his biggest hit in America was Der Kommissar, which actually went to #1 in the United States, but not his version, After the Fire's version, which turned it into a very techno-pop song. But yeah, going back to that, the funny story with the Silberlinges and that is... and they were in crappy shape when my students and I were riding them from Hanover to Goslar, occasionally from Delmenhorst to Bremen. I'm trying to think one other place we rode them. Heilige Elektronik. Riesig ist ja nicht ganz richtig. Es ist gewaltig. But anyhow, so all of a sudden those cars were gone. I remember it was, I think, our 2005 or 2006 trip where Joyce and I were like, wow, we didn't ride any of those crappy old cars. They're gone. And then in 2017, Joyce and I rode from Kempten to Munich, or was it? Yeah, Kempten to Munich on an Alex train. And Joyce does not like Alex trains because of that. It was one of the old Silberlinges or UICs. It was just one of those. The cars were in crappy shape. They had been cleaned up. The seats had been reupholstered, but the same damage to like the fan and different things was still all there. It was just clearly very old and had been repurposed. And the windows had to be down because the air conditioning, the blower fans weren't working, so we had the windows down. And we're 1 or 2 cars behind the diesel locomotive, so the diesel smoke was blowing in. And of course, Joyce has her asthma, her breathing issues, so breathing in those diesel fumes was not fun. The only good thing to come out of Germany is Rammstein? I disagree with that. Rammstein was a very good group. Mein Teil! They weren't the Zilberlinges? Okay, they were just the Halberstadts. Alright, I thought they had the Enferker or some of those. And Kraftwerk, I've got Kraftwerk albums. You guys are going to make me go get these. The Scorpions. Of course, you had Crocus, who were Swiss-German. Alright, now you've made me wonder. I'm going to have to step away from the camera and see if they're either over here or if I put where I put them real quick. So let me give you a good view. There, I'll go this view. You'll actually see me walk behind. Oh, you won't see me walk behind that camera. Let me see. Okay. Here we go. These were all albums given to me by a friend in Germany. He just grabbed whatever. And some of these are right pitiful. I apologize, but Die Hitparade des Jahres. 24 Volltreffer. Ein einsames Herz, das braucht lieber Popcorn. How do you do? Yeah, okay. The Tirolers, Prince Hetzel, and notice it's in English. Your favorite German melodies. Yeah, no. Sexy. Wim Tölke präsentiert 3x9 Ausgabe 1972. Yeah, I once had hair like that and that. Okay, here you go. Falco, Einzelhaft. This is a good album. This is a good album right there, guys. This is one. Falco, Einzelhaft. This is the album. This is still my favorite album by Falco. Maschine brennt. Zu viel Hitze, der Kommissar. Ganz Wien. Einzelhaft. Good one. Nina Hagen in Ecstasy. German punk. East German punk. She was East German. Nena, 99 Luftballons. My Kraftwerk album, Electric Cafe.
boom, boom, chuck, boom, boom, chuck. Although my favorite song on here is Telephone Call. Although really it's the same song, just 6 variations of it. Different movements, like an orchestra, you know. But yeah, Kraftwerk. Got my Kraftwerk here. The godfathers of techno music. Whoops. Well, I'll be darned. I'm just going to knock things over here and break things. But hey, it's all right. It's all right. Just sit there. Okay. Another Falco album, Junge Rema, Young Romans. This dude was just cool. He really was. He was just cool. And then, oh, Mick 92's not here. How about German drinking songs? Berlitz for German travelers. He bought that for himself. A German Christmas, no album cover on it. Here's the embarrassing one. Why he bought this one, I don't know. Ein Lied, 3, 4. I don't know if there's a way I can hold that up. Military music, marching music. And that's about it. Actually, I've got a bunch more, but that's enough of that. Let's go back to trains. Yes, the Blue Man Group were German. This is a hard sell. But, yeah, Mike was a good guy. He was about 4 years older than me. We got to know each other. I was 10, he was 14, and I was in a bowling league. And he didn't have a team, I didn't have a team, and we got thrown together on the same team. And, of course, he's 14, I'm 10. You know, who's the stupid kid? Until I proved I was a better bowler than even him, and then he liked me. And we bowled together for 2 years. In year 3, my sister decided to join the league. And my sister was also 14. And he liked my sister, so he liked me. And he asked my sister out so many times, my sister said no, said no, said no. And for years, I mean, we bowled together for years. And then when he graduated high school, he went into the Army, and I started high school. He graduated high school, and I started high school. My sister graduated, but by the time my sister graduated, I don't want to get into her business, but let's just say, she barely made it through high school, and she did not make it through high school without a lot of problems. And Mike was this good guy, and I think that was the problem. He was a good guy. And even when she had gone through some horrible things with other boyfriends, abuse, other issues, he was there like, hey, I can be here for you. And so he always stayed in touch with me. And to this day, it's one of the things, if my sister had just not been such a dipstick and gone out with him. Now, on the sad side is Michael died when he was... I had lost touch with him for a few years, and then I heard he was back in Toledo, and I reconnected with him a bit after a few years. And about 2 years later, year later, he found out he had cancer, and not the survivable kind. And he died of cancer. He was 32, 33, because I was 29. And I think we hooked up because I was teaching a nephew of his or something like that. So that's, you know, it just drove me crazy. He was such a good guy. And my sister was always going out with the scumbags of the earth. And he was stable. He had a job. You know, he was in the military and then he had a job. Good guy, made good money. Never had anybody say a negative word. Even my sister never said a negative word about him. But obviously, if you're not into a guy, you're not into a guy. But the problem is, you're not into a guy because he's too nice. Because you want to go out with some drugged up schlep. So anyhow, that's that connection to all those records. So even as silly as those records are, I have not dismissed any of them. Well, welcome CJS 08. Either new to the channel or a new name, so we need to knight you. I now declare you a knight of the rhomboid table. All right, CJS, if you have a channel, you want to post a link to it, go ahead. Everybody here. I'm proud to claim I am the original, at least as far as I know in the model train community, the original guy that made everybody moderators. Now there are several channels that do it, but I was the first one because I remember everybody giving me grief when I started. Everybody's a moderator. You do that, you're going to have all this idiocy happening on your channel. And no, it's everybody keeps everybody in line. There's no excitement in a nice guy. Joyce might disagree with you there, Jean Ricard. I'm a nice guy. I was a very troubled guy when I met Joyce, but I was a nice guy. I wasn't some sort of scumbag, low-down, drugged-up idiot. But I definitely had my issues, but that's probably what drew Joyce. Joyce likes to be the psychiatrist. I shall analyze you and fix you. And she did. Mostly. All right, what's Raymond sharing here now? It's an Italian one. Oh, Lima trains. Lima really is an interesting company because I have heard some guys really bash them and some guys just love them. Hey, Mr. Railyard, how are you? What's up? I'm doing my Friday live feed and trying to keep myself doing whatever I do, which is nothing. But right now I'm trying to solve the problem of finding the right locomotive for some cool cars I bought. And I was hoping to hear back from a couple of people, because I found some Locos that have that are ROCO, that have that 4-pin connection, and saying, will these cars work with that Loco until I can find the proper one? Yeah, you can put your Discord in the chat. You're allowed to put anything in the chat except politics, religion, but as far as channel links go, hobby related, any hobby, as long as it's a good, clean hobby. But comedy, like good comedy channels, because I'm also a wannabe comedian. I think that's true, Efo. I think that's true of many, many companies. Even the companies that you think are just bad. Every now and then, they just get one really, really right. They just get that one. That no matter what else they may have done wrong, here's one they really, for whatever reason, got right.
You know, and then there are companies where I've heard, usually like ACME, the Italian company ACME, ACME. I heard so many negative things about them, but this 371 right there, well, the Railjet's going to kind of block it off, but that 371 completely blocked off. That 371 right there, that's a fantastic, that is a gorgeous Loco. Number one, it's gorgeous. But two, it's a good runner, although it does not like pulling those 7 cars. 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, it does not like pulling that rake of 7 cars. It does fine until it gets to the, right at the height of the, up the ramp. You'll see it here. As it's coming up, you'll see it all of a sudden, right about there, it really starts to slow down. And then it just heaves over, and then it's fine. It does fine most of the way up the ramp. By itself, it handles the ramp just fine. But with those cars, it gets to just about the top, and then it's like, ugh. Hey, Mark, how are you? Just popping in for 5 minutes to say hi. Well, that took 3 seconds. What are you going to do for the other 4 minutes and 57? Oh, that's the old days. Yes. My Fridays. I coached basketball, and we always had games on Friday. And even then, either before the game or after the game, I had to either Joyce dropped the kids off somewhere and I had to pick them up, or I was dropping them off before my game. And then Joyce would pick them up, or I'd pick them up too. That's the... I do miss my kids being grown up. I really do miss my kids at that age. That, I mean, not even that age. I mean, they're teenage years. But I miss my kids when they were just into toys, whether it was their own toys or dad's toys. You know, the wargaming stuff, the action figures and all that. And that's why grandkids are kind of nice. I have the one, so he gets all the attention that I would normally give to 5 grandkids. He gets all of it because I only have the one grandchild. But he's just getting into that age where you really can have fun. Let's play this, let's do that. But my, yes, oh, there he goes. He's just getting around and gets up to speed again. Well, I have Discord, but I'm never on it. I haven't been on Discord in 2 years. Man, I keep hitting that side. Why do I keep hitting that side? Let's go down to the floor, see how the UK guys are doing. Doing their happy little circles. And despite Jean Ricard's protest, if you're new to the channel, and we've got a few new people, here is my table that someday, which I've been saying for 5 years, will house a real layout. But here's my table. Over there, which is actually over here, but because this is non-mirrored. See, I'm technically looking that way, but really I'm looking this way. Or really I'm looking that way, but you see it as this way. Right behind me. But anyhow, I have 2 big tables. I have over there, which is actually over here. But on the video you're looking at, over there is an 8 by 12.5 foot table. That is representing the sister city of Toledo, but it's not anymore, of Delmenhorst. It's an actual city. It's a suburb of Bremen. And then speaking of Bremen, over on that side, which is actually over there, but on this side, as you're looking at the screen, is what I call my Bremen-Hanover hybrid. And it's just spare model buildings I've thrown down there just to fill up the space. But that is will eventually be the Bremen station. Actually, the station will be kind of a hybrid between Bremen and Hanover, because they're kind of similar anyhow, except Bremen is a through station and Hanover is a in and out station, I think. But be that as it may, and then in between, connecting the two 8-foot wide tables is a 6-foot wide section, 30 inches deep, 2.5 feet, half a meter, well, not half a meter, 2/3 of a meter, and 30 inches wide, deep, 6 foot wide, so just under 2 meters wide there. So the long run back there is just a shade over 22 feet. That long run in the back is just a shade over 22 feet. So that's the table. And then the cameras are kind of positioned to show you where various cameras are. You got them in Bitburg, okay. Yeah, Kickline magazines are not ringing a bell. Oh, wow, you did hit 3,000. I knew you were getting close. Wow. Well, you have to give me another shout out so I can get over 2,000. Oh, I don't deserve 2,000 subs. But wow, 3,000. But that beggars the question. What number makes a channel a big channel? What number? Because when I first started on YouTube, I thought, wow, 1,000 subs is big. And then you have the guys that had 5,000, 10,000. They're really, really big. And then everybody, 1,000 was like a big mark. You hit 1,000. And of course, that was because of monetization and everything. And now you can do it at 500. So 500 is sort of a watershed mark now. But, you know, hitting that 1,000 mark. And then I hit 1,500 and it was like, yeah, big deal. I think hitting 2,000 might feel like a big deal, but I'm a couple of years away from that at best. Because I don't feel like I've got 1,500 subs. I feel like I got 100 subs. I really do feel like I've got 100, 200 subs. Hey, Kiwi Davis here. Hello. And the thing is, you can go on YouTube, and YouTube will tell you... YouTube will tell you, and people that got lots of subs will tell you, here's how you get lots of subs. But there is no true obvious path to getting large numbers. But a couple of things that do help. Consistent posting. You know, whether it's once a week or once a month, consistent posting. Another thing is scheduled live streams. You know, don't just live stream out of the blue. But if you let people know you're live streaming at a certain time, and as long as there isn't somebody bigger and more famous live streaming at that time in the community, because otherwise you start streaming and people aren't going to come because they're over in Mark Donegal Dad's live stream, or they're in Barnabas Junction, or they're in Heath's, or they're at Sidetrack Sunday, or they're at Third Rail Thursday, and there are so many people. There's always somebody on, but there are definitely bigger channels that draw more people in. But if you're consistent and you live stream, and then get into live streams and let people get to know you. And I think that's the number one thing. Getting to be known, letting people see you and know you. See the videos and then go into the chats and just talk to people. And don't necessarily go in to always promote your channel, because then people are like, he's just always promoting his channel. And to be honest, I don't know that great content is the answer. Because 3 years ago, the 3 biggest UK channels were Everard Junction, Will at IC82, and Sam's Trains. And they are 3 very different channels, and 2 of them run their trains on the floor. And people are like, oh, you got to have this perfect content. You got to have this beautiful layout. That's not what it's about. What it's about is being known, coming across as a personality, and you can be controversial if you want, but it builds up. And then there's a luck factor that you can never explain. There is a luck factor. You just catch the right people at the right time, and your name spreads. I consider myself very lucky to be at the number of subs I have. I'm almost at 1,600 now. And I never thought I'd be this high up. And still, I don't think I am this high up. I've got 1,580 subs, but there's 30 to 40 people who come to my live streams and who watch my videos and comment and give them a like. And so that's how many subs I have. The other 1,500 people that basically ignore what I do, they may be subbed to my channel, but they're not people I know. The people I know are all the people on this chat screen here. You know, and there are some people, they're not going to go to your channel unless you have a professionally done, or at least are working a process. They don't want to be bothered with idiots like me that just run trains and don't build or don't, you know, show expertise in an area. Model trains is not an expertise area. And yes, over the 5-6 years I've been in the hobby, I have learned some things, but I'm not motivated to have to know everything. I am happy. My ADD just loves my trains going around. I have beautiful trains, and I got track to run them. That's all I really need. And then the other part is I get to share this on other people's live streams and here on my own live stream, and people come in and hang with me, which I find amazing. And I love Sam. I love Sam's Trains. He gets a lot of bad crap, and I don't necessarily agree with everything Sam does, but I like Sam. There's only one thing I will ever mildly critique Sam about. And I say critique, not criticize, critique. He does have a bit of a bias against Continental trains. That he will never admit that they are built better, or if he admits that they are built better than Hornby and Bachmann, he throws it out, but you pay 3 times the price. And as an outsider, I'm not Continental, I'm not UK. I've got UK trains, I've got Continental trains. And if you take the best of the Continental models and the best of the UK models, not counting EuroStar, because EuroStar really is using a European model for their train designs. So they're coming up and are really starting to impress me. But Hornby and Bachmann, yes, you can pay $90 or 110 pounds, 90 pounds, 110 pounds for a new locomotive. But you can buy a PIKO locomotive for the same price, and it's a better locomotive. It's a better model. It's still their cheap end, but you get, to me, as an outsider, you get more bang for your buck with United States models. And yes, there's plenty of crappy models in the United States, and with Continental models. And yes, there's a lot of crappy Continental models, but overall, I think you get more bang for your buck. You get more quality per penny spent with Continental models than with Hornby and Bachmann, specifically in the UK. Now, that's my opinion, and people can hate me for it or give me grief about it. But in my few years in the hobby, that's what I see when I hold a European model and I hold a Hornby model. Hornby makes beautiful trains. They make some great running trains. I love my Azuma down here. Okay, let's go to the floor cam. I love that Azuma. That is a beautiful model, and I think it's awesome. There is nothing wrong with that Azuma. It is gorgeous, it runs well, and it's got light functions. It doesn't have the sound functions. I still haven't put the decoders in. But that was, when I was seeing it in the UK, it was the equivalent of 400 American dollars. It was $400. For $500, I can get a 5-car starter set of an ICE3 that is fully digital, has twice the functions, more metal parts, and is probably a higher quality motor and stuff in it as well. So yes, you pay a bit more, but you get a lot more. And again, so the model itself is perfect. Is it worth the $400? Not compared to $400 worth of a German or Austrian model. Okay? And again, I'm not sorry if I offend you. I am speaking my opinion, and you're free to think I'm an idiot for that opinion, because I don't have 50 years of model train history behind me. Hey, Digger Evans, how are you? Oh, you're on Jenny Kirk. I never make it to Jenny Kirk. Jenny Kirk is awesome. Again, I'm not subscribed to Jenny Kirk. I was subscribed to Jenny Kirk for years, and I didn't unsubscribe for any negative reason. I think she's awesome. I just was never watching her videos because I was always trying to keep up with everybody else, and I just always found I was putting her videos to the end. And I know that sounds bad, but I do that. I can only watch so many channels. And how do you explain this? This is just me. This is just me. If I'm subscribed to a channel, I feel I'm obligated to watch all their videos and to comment on them as often as I can. Now, nobody has to do that, okay? Nobody has to do that. I'm not saying you should do that. That's me. So there are guys that are subscribed to 5,000 channels, but they comment on 3 or 4, and they watch 10 or 11 videos. I'm subscribed to 300 channels, of which 150 put up videos, at least recently, and I watch every one of their videos, and I watch every minute of their videos. Now, sometimes I'm watching 2 at a time, one on the TV, one on the computer. But that's me. That's just a manic compulsion in my brain. Hey, Raymond Anthony, how are you? Oh, I love Jenny when she gets sidetracked. I love the humor. She's got a great channel. The thing is, anytime I talk about one of these channels, somebody goes running, hey, this idiot American is talking about your channel in a negative way. And I'm not saying a negative way. I love Jenny. I love Jenny's channel. How do I put this? If I have 20 minutes and Alan has put up a video and Jenny's put up a video, I'm watching Alan. If I've got 30 minutes and so-and-so has put up a video, let's see, who in here? All right, let's say Tony Northeastern. If Tony Northeastern puts up a video and Jenny's put up a video, I'm watching Tony Northeastern. And that's because I know these people offline. I got to know them chatting in chats, where in Jenny's chat there's so many people it's hard to be one of the guys. And I would rather hang out in channels where I'm one of the guys. And I don't know if that makes any sense. It's just a weird thing in my head. So, for years, her Monday live stream, I was working. So I could never watch it anyhow. And I'd try to watch it on makeup, when I had some time. But now that everybody's back to work and more people are putting up videos and putting up bigger and longer videos, it just got harder. So there's a lot of channels, and the reason I unsubscribed from some of these bigger channels is simply because if they weren't showing up on my live feed, they weren't showing up on my daily feed, hey, so-and-so just, then I didn't feel bad for not watching the video, because I feel bad. If I find out I missed a video from Tim JD, I feel horrible. If I find out Eric A&C Life Journey, N-Scale Trains and Life Journey, if he put up a video and I find out 2 days later I missed it, I feel terrible. I go back and watch it, and I even apologize. That's just me. I'm just weird that way. I don't expect anybody else to act that way. I'm fully aware I have some weird predilections of behavior and thinking. All right, hi, good night. Thanks for stopping in. You can say every Hot Wheels slogan in German. I can't even say them in English. I do have some Hot Wheels, but they're all of one car. Let's see if I can do this, although I may have broken this. I'll do one more here. Let's see if this is still working, or did I break it when I dropped it? Where is it? Mobile show. Okay, there it is. Okay, guys. There we go. Hang on. There we go. All right, guys. I know you're about to get sick. I'm sorry. Dude, what the heck? All right, let me take this off for a second. Wires got wrapped around this somehow. Really? What the hell? How did you manage this? Oh, my goodness. What a knucklehead. All right, let's try this again. I'm sorry, everybody, I made you seasick, but here we go. All right, here are my Hot Wheel cars. They're all of one car, variations of the Dodge Charger, except for 2 Dodge Darts up there. Hot Wheel cars are 1/64th, also known as S-scale. But that is every year a generation of the Dodge Charger, as well as some others like the Dodge Coronet and the Dodge Dart. But these are all my Hot Wheel cars. In fact, that is my current car right there. And then I owned the green Viper, or not Viper, Stealth. That is the Dodge Stealth. I owned that one. And then this is my pride and joy, because that car, whoops. All right, I'm going to change hands here. Sorry. That car is modeled on the car in the picture. And that car in the picture is my car. I owned that car. That was my 1973 Dodge Charger SE. 1999 Chicago Mopar Rally Best in Show. And Johnny Lightning made models of it. Now, I will tell you this. I did not own the car when it won the 1999 Best in Show. It was owned by my cousin in Indiana. And then when he was having trouble on the farm, I took it off his hands. But that's my Dodge cars. Those are my only Hot Wheel cars, other than the cars my kids have in boxes. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. It's the hands. The minute I'm trying to do something or hold something delicate, they just really go bad. That is a car I had to let go of it too. I don't know, maybe it's like the Hope Diamond. I I owned it for several years, and then I had to get rid of it. It was either lose the car or lose the house. Hey, Ben, how are you? But yeah, we grew up with Hot Wheels and Johnny Lightning. You didn't see Matchboxes much when I was a kid. Vollgas, Vollgas, grenzenlos, gigantisch, Herausforderung angenommen. Sounds roughly like the Hot Wheels, but like I said, I don't even remember their top selling slogans when I was a kid. In fact, I don't remember last time I saw a Hot Wheels car or place that commercial on TV. I don't think they advertise anymore. Your dad's a big Ford fan. Growing up, my grandfather had two very simple rules to understand. You didn't drive Ford and you didn't drive foreign. You could show up at the Dodge family reunions in a Chevy, you know, any of the GM brands. You could show up in a Chrysler or a Plymouth. But if you showed up in a Dodge, you were better. And if you showed up in a Mercedes or a Toyota, you were chased off the grounds. Hey, Artie, how you doing? But for those who are new to the channel, there is a car company called Dodge, and yes, I am distantly related to them. My great-grandfather actually helped start the company. But it was his third cousins, I think. They were third cousins to him, fourth cousins to him, because I'm like technically what they would call like sixth cousins. You went out with a Danish girl who was 6'2". You collect green light cars, Johnny Lightning, Ertl, I know, Corgi, I know, Siku, I've gotten to know since I've been into model trains. I don't know Kinsmart, I don't know Jada Toys, I don't know Motormax, Schuko and Maisto, I know, but again, only since I got into model trains. There's a lot of cool Schuko and Maisto stuff I would buy to put on my layout, but I'm always waiting. Well, everybody, no matter what car company you talk about, somebody's got a bad experience with it and they'll never drive them again. From the best car companies in the world to, there are people that are diehard fans and people that are diehard haters. Everybody buys that lemon. I've been lucky. The only lemon I ever bought was the one time I didn't buy a Dodge. And it wasn't even a lemon. I bought a beat-up Buick. Joyce and I needed a second car. We were still rather poor with 2 kids. And she had changed jobs. No, did we have 1 or 2 kids at the time? Maybe it was just, no, it was 2. We had 2 kids. So I needed to go to work car so I could leave her a car that she could, and I was coaching basketball at the time, so she could drop the kids off at school or the babysitters and pick them up after work, or I would pick them up after work when it wasn't coaching season. But I needed to go to work car, and I just needed something today, and we bought this Buick 2-door Buick Electra, and I kept it running for about a year. It was in crappy shape, but the guy took $300 for it, and I spent another $150 putting parts into it. I bought the parts and did the labor myself. I replaced the electrical system, the main electrical system, replaced the carburetor, replaced a couple other things. But I used to just go to the junkyards and find ones that I knew were in good shape. And we had this place near us. It was called Spuds. Spuds
junkyard. And everything except certain things at Spuds was $5. And they would always answer the phone. And they'd go, Spuds, $5. You know, you'd call up and say, how much would it? Whatever you took off, it was $5 or less. Except for like if you wanted an entire engine block, then you were going to pay $100 or $200. By the way, Clive came in. Howdy, Clive. How are you? But yeah, we did. So there were many a times when something went wrong on one of our cars, and I was out at the junkyard, winter, summer heat, winter freezing. When my kids got older, I'd make my oldest kid go with me, my daughter Lynn. Lynn, you're just going to hand me tools. Daddy, it's cold. It's even colder holding the tool. Oh, the Dodge Slant 6s were great engines. I had a Dodge Aspen, which was just a rebrand of a Dodge Dart, with a 225 Slant 6, and that's still one of the favorite cars and engines I ever owned. That 225 Slant 6 was something else. Now, see, when I was really little, Volkswagens were considered training cars. Something was always going to go wrong with the Volkswagen, and it was a good car to learn how to fix motors on because they were very simple motors to learn all the bits and pieces. And as a little kid, my dad used to always tease that when I got my first car, it was going to be a Volkswagen so I could learn how to fix it. But instead, what my dad did, just one of the little things I'm still bitter at my dad. First car, I had the money. It was my money. And a guy had a Dodge Challenger for $1,000. And my dad would not let me buy it. Well, you may buy it, but you're going to have to pay the insurance. A 1971 Dodge Challenger. And it was in great shape. This is 1980, my first car I'm going to buy. And he would not approve any car. And then finally a neighbor was putting this piece of crap Ford up for sale, and he wanted $100 for it. My dad offered him $75 and said, here's your car. He made me buy a frickin' Ford. And it was a Fred Flintstone car. In other words, as I'm riding in it, I could lean back and look down and see the front tire. It was rusted underneath. And it had like 110,000, 120,000 miles on it. I put 20,000 more miles on it over a 1.5-year period because I drove it everywhere. And I made sure it was safe, that the seating area was not going to suddenly, the seating pan was not going to drop out or anything. I had it checked. But my dad made me buy a frickin' Ford just because I was always so, yeah, Dodge. And my dad wouldn't drive a Dodge until I bought, my first car that I actually bought that I wanted to buy was this 77 Dodge Aspen 2-door coupe with the 225 Slant 6. And I drove that all the while I was dating Joyce, and then literally a month before Joyce and I got married, I bought a Dodge Omni Charger. And we had that for a few years, and then I bought a Dodge Shadow. And then we bought and then we had 2 cars, and then I went with the Dodge, we got a Dodge Caravan, and so on and so on.
Oh, you've been driving Toyota hybrids. You know, it's easy for me. Rather than bash any company, I will only drive Dodges. That's it. I drive Dodges, nothing else. I recognize those legs. She's wearing jeans. We could have had a nice upskirt shot there. Okay, so Wifey Poo is here.
Wifey Poo is here.
Oh, you want to set those boxes out of your way?
Don't live with them.
Oh my goodness, I've got so many cords tangled up here today. One thing I didn't do, I set up all the cameras, but I forgot to make sure cords were not in each other's way.
Hi, Leslie. Hi, Tom. Hello, big hello back at you, Dragon. Ellen. Say, hey, Digger. Hey, Valley.
Nope.
Socks for us. Hey, Wolfsack. Indeed, Raven. Hi, Dino.
Holy crap, what the
That's not right.
hell?
It's going way down.
Dude, stupid camera. See, and I gotta look back.
Also gray socks. So, hey, Artie.
Good enough.
Yeah, they're gray today. So, howdy, Andy.
Here, put that over.
Oh, thanks, Sean. Hey, Randall. Hi, Efo. Thank you, Joseph. Hey, Dominic.
If we still have any of those new people to the channel, this is my wife Joyce, who's been co-hosting my live stream with me for years when she gets home from work.
If you want to call that co-hosting, sure. That was just the eye candy.
Well, there's that. You do have a couple of advantages over me.
Hey, Lehigh. Oh, Kai says.
Uh-oh.
Hi, Opa, that's Chris.
Hey, Chris. Ladies and
Chris.
gentlemen, normally you're used to seeing Lindy Loves, my daughter. This is my son-in-law, Chris. The C-E-A-R-A, I always forget how that's pronounced, go-to.
Cargo, I don't know. Yeah, we'll
So,
have to ask him.
all right, we got to do this, Joyce.
We gotta eat early on
Kyan!
Kyan!
Love you, little guy! Hey, Kyan! Hi, Lynn and Chris. Love you guys, too.
Hi, Lynn and Chris, yep.
I just cut you off saying hi.
That's all right. I'm used to it.
By only 60%,
You're only 60%?
Artie says you come on and improve the show by 60%.
Oh, okay. That's all right, whatever.
I like to say Joyce comes in and gets the show moving because she never sits still.
Well, there's that. Oh, that's a video I gotta watch. Or you put up a new video.
Yeah, now, I was on the one site, you remember, and it said I needed this one locomotive. Now,
Uh-huh.
two guys and another site said, no, you want this other locomotive. It doesn't matter, I can't get either one.
Right.
It doesn't matter. But,
What do I think of the Pontiac Banshee concept car?
she doesn't care.
Yeah,
There's one car Joyce likes. Well, two cars Joyce likes. What are the two cars you like, Joyce?
Well, I love the Challenger.
She loves the new Dodge Challengers.
I love my Charger.
And she loves her Charger.
Hi,
Vroom.
Raymond. Yeah, apparently I like a little power, so what can I say?
Joyce, yeah. Joyce has been educated in Dodge cars. Other than that, she doesn't give a darn about cars.
I wouldn't say it quite that dismissively. I recognize cars mostly.
Oh, yeah, you
and-
recognize cars, but you don't really care because you know we're only going to have a Dodge. In fact, we're fighting over a
Yeah,
car
no,
right. We're fighting over another car right now.
I don't know. I almost think it's the hybrid.
You're thinking get that the new version of the Caliber, the Hornet.
Maybe. I mean, this is considered good for the environment.
The whole
You
point
have
of getting the
some-
second car is strictly to use it as a pickup truck.
Yeah,
Except I don't
but
want a
it's got
pickup
an
truck.
Extended cab on it. I don't know. I haven't seen the damn thing. Sorry.
It's a Caliber.
I am in the mood.
It's a Caliber.
Boy, you got some nice long trains today.
Yep.
I don't think that's your theme.
I don't really have a theme
I
today.
was gonna say I don't think I could pick out a theme. My first thought, because I saw two really long Locos. Are your ICEs really long?
Yeah. I mean, even my Regio is a longer version, so you could say that was a
there's
theme. I went
longer
with long
version.
trains today.
Yeah, you went with long trains.
No, originally I was going to do a lot of the high speeds. My goal was high speeds. I was going to do the Railjet and maybe the new Railjet. Unfortunately, I can't do the new Railjet
Oh,
because
you got that right, Dominic. Yeah, so do I, Randall.
yeah, our current Dodge has a Hemi.
It has a Hemi and it makes me
But
smile.
it's not. We were very proud because our Dodge Dart got 40 to 50 miles to the gallon on the highway. And so it was a very good non-hybrid regular gas car, but it got great gas mileage. And we were very proud of ourselves for having made the green decision. Our new car, no,
And then we gave
it's
it
meant
up.
for racing on the highway.
We gave it up for power.
We
See,
gave it up for power.
I even tell myself, you are not wrong, Jean. I tell myself if I got to pull out somewhere, I don't think, oh, this is a narrow window, but I have a Hemi. I will be able to zoom out of there when I get an opening.
Yeah. You
So,
press the gas and you're where you want to be.
Yeah,
it's
pretty
light
much.
speed.
So, yeah, it's really a fun car to drive.
Yes, Joyce likes Dodges for their power.
I wondered how long it's going to take you to go that way. Oh,
They're
sure.
thrust. Horsepower and thrust.
All right, keep this a PG show, honey.
That would be a first.
That's probably true. A drag race, the highway patrol. Well,
No, the problem is the Highway Patrol in Ohio also uses Dodge
drive
Chargers with
yeah.
Hemis.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't, and they have the magic button.
All right, he found the Pass and Holder Express van, so maybe go there.
Maybe go there. Oh, the brewery one.
The brewery one.
That's not a bad price either.
No, it's not.
Why is that supersized on that screen?
I don't know. I don't have a lead foot. I just appreciate the power in my. Car.
She doesn't have a lead foot, but she doesn't mind
Getting there quickly.
getting where she's going quickly.
All right, you bought a new train.
There, I just bought it. Thank you, Evo.
I think you want to slow down. Chelsea Robinson drove a Dodge
Wanna
Charger.
slow
Yeah.
down. Yeah, because we'll be broke tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, Holman, my phone, you're disconnected from Wi-Fi. I finally got it to work, but
Chelsea Robinson drove a Dodge Charger in the
Interesting.
Kickline cartoon.
gotcha.
It can outsprint them until it's sprinting speed. No, my Dodge Dart that was the thing about the Dodge Dart. It was one of the most highly acclaimed compact cars. It was a compact car, but the interior space beat most of the Japanese midsize, and it had more horsepower and better gas mileage than Japanese compact and Japanese midsize. The problem is Fiat had just bought out Chrysler, and when the Dart was hitting line, even though it won all this awards, Fiat set a limit that Dodge had to, within 5 years, capture 7% of the compact market, or they were canceling the line. 7% of a market you're just breaking into.
Yeah,
And they got to 6%.
It was unrealistic.
It was just completely unrealistic. It was a great car. It was doing well. It was winning.
Gotcha, Dominic. Yeah.
It was winning races.
We had a 72 for a while.
Yeah, the GTX was not even close. Because, see, that's the thing. See, even though Dodge was part of Chrysler Plymouth,
Yeah, automatic is what we drive.
Yeah, we drive automatic. Even though Dodge was Chrysler, Plymouth, and Dodge, and then Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep before they canceled Plymouth, Dodge was always a separate entity. Even when Chrysler, Plymouth bought out Dodge, Dodge still kept its own engineering department, its own design department, and its own testing department. Dodge always had its own separate group. That's why there are many cars that Dodge created that originally there weren't Chrysler and Plymouth versions of, or the Chrysler Plymouth versions came a year or two later. So Dodge designed the Dart, and then Chrysler released the Chrysler 200 a year after the Dart premiered. It was built on the same chassis, but it was not the same design. But the Dart was an amazing, and for a company, because Dodge is about horsepower. It's something even I criticize as much as I love my fast Dodges. Dodge is always about horsepower first, gas mileage second, which has hurt them in sales.
Sure it is.
And so now they're releasing their first hybrid. It's called the Hornet. And it's a hybrid in many ways. It is half compact car, half SUV. So they're calling it a compact SUV. But people forget, Dodge reinvented the minivan, or what became known as the minivan.
All right, night, Ben.
All right, Ben, take care. Thanks for hopping in. But Dodge revolutionized. Yes, there were cool small vans back in the 60s and so forth, but the minivan that became such a huge thing that even some of them came over into Europe, Dodge started that. We created that, the Dodge Caravan. And then years later, Honda had the Odyssey and Ford had the EuroStar and blah, blah, blah. But the Dodge Caravan was always the #1 selling minivan. And then Chrysler, because Chrysler doesn't make any money, their cars don't sell, Chrysler took the Caravan about 5 years ago, it took it away from Dodge and made it Chrysler. So now it's the Chrysler Town and Country or the Chrysler Pacifica, depending on what package you get with it. And Dodge no longer makes the minivan, even though it was Dodge who invented it. I'm still bitter about that, can you tell? Yeah, most people know the Charger 68, although really 68, 69, 70 are basically the same Charger with just variations to the grills on the front and back, and you know, the lighting arrays, the grills, just some cosmetic stuff. But really, it's the same basic chassis. It is the same chassis, A-frames. All right, Chris. Good night.
Hi, Chris.
Yeah, and that was it. And the Caliber was a good seller for Dodge. The Caliber was a very strong. My daughter had one, and she loved it.
Yes, she did. It really suited what she was doing. We drove to the in the Appalachian Mountains with a 4-cylinder tiny engine.
The Dodge Dart. No, with that Dodge Neon.
And boy, did it struggle. I mean, you know, the trucks were passing us up the hill. It was bad.
That was their first
So
attempt at high gas.
I was not driving, you know, a small car in the mountains again. And I took the Dart, and it handled those mountains like a boss. It was really good. I was very pleased with it.
But yeah, there's so much out there. But yeah, that was us. That's what we did. But yeah, I mean, it's something we got hammered into us, and as a kid growing up, pride in our family name in cars, and I carried it. My dad was the generation that skipped, and then finally my dad finally broke down and bought a Dodge in his 50s because I'd been driving Dodges. Let's see, he got the Dodge Intrepid. He got the first generation of the Dodge Intrepid.
Yeah.
Oh, so my dad was 60. He was 60 when he got that. Because I was on my 3rd or 4th Dodge by that time.
trained my children well. Liz is texting me every place she was going.
Yeah, they stopped off at Kuntz.
Did they give us anything?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Nice.
Yeah, she seemed in a good mood when she was talking to me on the phone.
Okay.
But she came home and kind of crashed on the couch, and I was just
she's
getting ready
mostly
to...
crashed on the couch
yeah.
up there, so.
Speaking of which, it's that time to have that talk.
What's for dinner?
What's for dinner?
I don't know, but I'm hungry.
Hey, Grandpa, what's for dinner? Well, I don't want pizza.
Fair.
I had
That
pizza
was-
for lunch.
It was better the second day. Did you agree?
Well, I added a crap more cheese to it. And I didn't warm it up in the oven. I
Yeah,
nuked it.
I moved a piece, and I thought it was a lot better the second time.
It was good. It was good. I don't know if it was the best homemade pizza we've done. I thought the dough was just a little too doughy.
Hey, Digger.
It was good. It would have made great bread, but it was just a little too much for the pizza.
Well, that was
And of
good.
course, I burned my lip on the...
Not ice cream today.
No ice cream today. Nope. So, steak escape, steak and shake.
Yeah, we probably...
Friday is always takeaway.
Yeah.
Friday is always takeaway.
Yeah, I just figure with this, we're not cooking, so... I don't know, we haven't done steak escape in a while.
All right, we can give them a try.
Guess they keep messing it up.
No, we don't do ice cream every Friday.
No,
John
we don't
McCarr.
do it every Friday, just probably like once a month, I think. And it's running out of the season, so...
And yeah, they'll be closing soon.
we
because the
probably
ice
will
cream
try to
season's ending.
get it one more time. Well, they generally rely on high school and college students, and they go back to school.
Yeah, they rely on students for their employees.
Order it now. You know what Liz likes.
What am I looking for? Oh.
You don't have it saved?
No, I don't actually, because I can just type it in.
You've had 3 ice creams already. Ooh, schnitzel, that would be nice.
Oh,
But we don't get it here
schnitzel.
like you get it
and
there.
is it this Sunday I'm making Swiss veal?
Yeah,
Yeah,
AJ
I'm making my own Swiss. Jean Ricard, you got to get on a plane and get over here Sunday. I'm making my homemade Swiss veal.
Yeah, it's good.
And you can now compare the original to mine.
Ooh, that is very hot. We're starting to cool down. I think the air will be off tomorrow. It's a little muggy yet. Not bad, a little muggy.
You want me to just order it now and have an early dinner?
Yeah. I mean, it'll take them a while probably. Ah, okay. Before the wind
Hopefully
comes.
they get it right.
Oh. Yeah, your ears are probably burning a bit, Artie. I've been teaching continents and oceans to my students, and they have to draw color in the border so they got it right. I've reviewed. We talk about Australia, and you're my Australian friend Artie. Says that. Oh, went from 30 to 17
What?
Celsius, Artie.
Oh, okay. Whoops.
Okay.
I can't do that.
That worked for me.
Ta-da. So,
So they got it memorized, huh? Yeah, we keep cutting the lemon.
I don't know. I need to get off of that. That's going to do it now.
Yeah. Alright, that's fine. I can go up at a quarter of it if you want.
So what? No. It's all right.
Well, if it gets here, it's 5:59.
They don't ever get here early. It's 5:59. I figured I'd just
Yeah.
end early, 5:50ish.
Okay, gotcha. That's why your nose has been itching so much.
It's either that or the cocaine.
You know, I had a fact sheet I was doing. What's the only continent that didn't have any glaciers? Which several of them answered wrong, even though they just had to read. So I pulled the map down. You know, it's got colors on it. Let's take a look at Australia. What's in Australia? Ooh, deserts. Yeah, lots.
Yeah, but you know in Australia they get taught that they're the largest island and continent. And you can't explain to the Australian staff you're a continent, you can't be classified as an island. They can
Well,
only be one or the
I
other.
mean, I grew up that way. They're the only place that is a continent, a country, and an island at the same
And that was wrong.
place.
Because, see, in the public schools, we got taught properly that Australia is a continent and therefore not an island. Because technically every continent is an island. North and South America combined are an island.
Yeah. I don't know. You look
So
at
because
Eurasia there.
because Eurasia would
an
count as a
island,
bigger
but you
island.
have to make it Eurasia,
That's why
not just Europe.
That's why geologists
Yeah.
and geographers all have always said you're either a continent or an island.
Yeah.
If you're a continent, you can't be an island.
Australia has the biggest swimming pools. I don't think we'll be swimming next June, will we?
Oh, Leslie, we
Oh, that's
understand that.
good, yeah.
When we were getting ready to go to the UK last year, it had been 3 years. Now you're going on 4, but it had been 3 years since we had gone overseas.
Oh, it
after
was
going
horrible.
overseas every year. And it was just,
Yeah.
what do we do? And to make it worse for us, we were going to a country or a series of countries we had never been to. It might have been better if we had gone to Germany again, because I was more familiar with how Germany works and how to
Yeah,
get around Germany
marshmallows.
than I was the UK. But, I mean, it worked out beautifully. We met, as you hear me talk about all the time, we met so many beautiful people.
We sure
met,
did.
it
Yeah,
was just,
It was
our
a
trip-
fabulous experience.
and we enjoyed it so much, we have thrown it, we will be going back. I mean, we are going back a month, 5
Yeah.
weeks.
Right.
5 weeks from today, we will, at this time, 5 weeks from today, we will be in the UK.
No, 5 weeks. Gotcha.
5 weeks
5
at
weeks.
this time, we will be
Yeah.
ending a broadcast from the UK. I've got 4 more American broadcasts, and then I'm doing a live stream from,
Probably Greenland, wouldn't you think, Sean? That's the biggest island.
it's Greenland.
I would think Greenland. 'Cause that's part of North America. Iceland's
And what do you
part of
mean if
Europe.
Australia is or a continent? It is a continent. 7 continents. Australia is one of
Yeah,
them.
although Oceania is gaining a lot of traction for that area.
Yeah, there are some people that are now putting up that Oceania should be a separate continent. But unlike Pluto, it hasn't happened yet.
Right. It's on Facebook on a teacher's site. Why is it Oceania? And I said, well, because they're starting to clump all those things.
So does that give you a little sense of your Danish pride there,
Jean, yeah.
Jean? We own the biggest island in the world.
Our generation has had a real big problem with Pluto being demoted.
Yeah, our generation, we have not been happy about
We're
that.
not ready to let it go.
It's a dwarf
My
planet.
sciencey self is okay with it, but I get a lot of fight from.
I understand the science.
Now
behind it,
it's my
except
students'
this,
grandparents
My
said.
attitude is,
My
but
grandpa said.
but it's the only dwarf planet that has a regular orbit around the sun, even though it's an abnormal shaped orbit. It's still, all the other dwarf planets are much more random and very slow.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right,
I
Ian,
take
thanks
it
for
easy.
hanging out with us for a while.
Yeah, I don't know if there's really a planet hiding. It feels like we've sent enough probes and we've got telescopes out in outer space now. It feels like we should.
Is Uranus hiding behind Jupiter?
Oh, that wasn't even a dad joke. That was a teenager joke.
Yep. No, there's always been jokes and rumors that there is a planet exactly opposite us on the other side of the sun. And then there's, and they have some scientific belief that there's definitely, there are some gravitational distortions that only a planet would explain.
Mm-hmm.
But I forget where.
Well,
To me, I would always just throw Oceania in as part of Australia. You know, Australia, Oceania,
And,
New Zealand. Just call it one mega continent.
Right.
I mean, it's not like it affects anything politically. Beep, beep, beep.
Leslie, what's the planner hiding behind?
Stick escape is preparing your order.
Okay. You say so. Maybe I get it right this time.
Get it right. Prepare and get it right.
Something up every single time. I don't know. Still think we should get off our lazy butts and go get it because it costs a lot more.
So just change its name, Austro-Oceana.
So the test is on Friday.
Austro-Oceana.
But I looked at my definitions on my test and thought those are stupid. So I got to rewrite my first page.
Yeah, have fun printing them.
I don't know, you want to take it back and just get the same one we had? We can.
I'm debating heavily. I've got it. It says it failed to install, and then it installed. Then it printed something up, and then it said it can't print. And then it said it can't read it, so it can't print.
Okay, let's give it up then.
I have never had a printer that was this idiotic to install.
I have a bunch of stuff I want to print this weekend, so including page 1 of a test.
Well, the problem is we've opened it, installed all the ink and everything.
Oh, I think it's still in its time. It's just an
So
open
I don't know
product.
what to do. I mean, I don't mind using it. All right, Leslie, you have a good night. As
Night.
always, thank you for hanging
Yeah,
out with
get
us.
a cup on a biscuit before you go to bed. Night, Leslie.
You know, I like the idea of saving money on the ink. So if it would just read the frickin' Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Can't read the Wi-Fi, can't read the Wi-Fi, can't read the
I'll tell you,
Wi-Fi.
when I'm up there on my phone, like if I go on Facebook, I can't see comments because it's struggling with the Wi-Fi. I think we need a booster up there again.
Well, we did have a booster.
Yeah, but I think they took it out.
But the other thing is this thing doesn't read 5G. How do you have a device nowadays that can't read 5G?
You know, I don't know why 5G's
So
G's a
I
thing.
got it either working or not working on my laptop, but I had to switch it down to the Dodge Spot normal, not the Dodge Spot 5G.
Gotcha. Okay.
How do you put out a device in the last 5 years for Wi-Fi that can't read 5G?
I opened it up. It was a 21. But I mean, that is just 2 years. It shouldn't be that far out.
No, that's right. That's what I'm
And
saying.
it wasn't that cheap.
Honey, the printer we're
I was
replacing read 5G.
I was going for a lower profile. I just thought the
Yeah,
last
you just
one
wanted smaller.
so big you just can't get behind it easily when it jams. Which it
Welcome
was
into our
doing
little world where we
all
bought a
the
new
time.
printer for our house, all our computers in our house, and we supposedly upgraded, but it's not an upgrade. And
Well,
it's
I
been a
really
pain in the
thought
butt
we
to
down-
install.
I
I've been
thought we-
fighting it for
I thought we
16 hours.
downgraded a bit. But I was willing to downgrade. I wanted a smaller profile.
No. This thing was $150 more than the upgrade of the one we are replacing.
Really?
Yes.
Let's take it back to the other one.
All right.
Don't drop small drills into the
Well,
paper
I unpacked
feeder.
it and fought it. You can pack it back up.
I think that's good advice, Artie.
Agree. Biggest island is island in the stream, and Pluto is Mickey's friend. See, that's where you're wrong. Mickey has no friends. He only has employees. Hey, there's Eric. We were talking about you earlier. Ears must have been burning. Doobie doobie doo, doo doobie doobie. Well, they get paid, so technically they're not slaves anymore.
Who's that?
They're just treated that way.
Who's that?
You'll get back to work or I'll kick your ass.
Got that. I looked at her.
You work for me, damn it.
Oh, I need to go to the bathroom again. All right, Artie. Good luck. One-handed.
Be right back. Going to paint these cars.
I'm happy with my hair.
Huh?
I think I'm happy with my hair. Let's go back to that shortcut. I don't like it in winter because it just goes. zoop.
Indeed.
You know what the
No,
answer
actually,
is?
one of the things was I was running all the creaky guys. You know, I'm running the Hercules because
Okay.
He was always a weak locomotive. He was from a PIKO starter set.
Yeah,
And he's meant to
right.
only pull 3 cars, and he's pulling 5,
Wow.
sometimes 6.
He's making it.
Barely, but his he doesn't. If I were to turn all the other trains off and you'd listen to the Alex running, and his
Gosh, you guys are just full of really good advice.
yeah, there's that too, Eric.
They say people make rules because somebody did something really stupid.
I used to say that. I used to say that to my students. My students would, we got so many rules. I said, if you didn't have dumb people, we wouldn't have so many rules.
That's exactly right. I love the ones. You know, our generation didn't have all these, all these things on packages. Don't do that. Because we were the better generation. I always type in, no.
We were the generation
Those
that...
warnings are there because we were doing that kind of crap.
Yeah. When I was a kid, we didn't have warnings on everything. No, we're the reason they have warnings on everything now.
You know, our generation, we played outside until the street lights came on. So we had a lot of time to amuse ourselves. And yeah, we tried that kind of crap.
You know why they don't let...
Yeah, this coffee's hot. That's just stupid. That lawsuit. I didn't know it'd be this hot.
Actually, there's a true story behind that.
I know there is.
And she was in the right.
Oh?
McDonald's was in the wrong.
What did they do?
See, they've even named an award. It was a 79-year-old woman. This is the true story.
Huh.
79-year-old
That's all I
woman.
remember.
She wasn't driving the car. She was a passenger. Her son pulled into the lot, and she took the lid off, and the cup kind of snapped and spilled all over. She took the lid off to put cream and sugar in it.
Yeah.
Okay, the coffee was at 190 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, buddy.
190 degrees
That's
Fahrenheit.
not far from boiling.
190 degrees Fahrenheit does permanent skin damage.
Yeah.
The woman went through multiple skin grafts.
So it was a crappy
And
cup.
the thing is, she didn't sue McDonald's right away. They talked about it, and she said, look what happened. And state investigators came into the McDonald's and said, why is your coffee this hot? That is way above standard restaurant norm.
Right.
And they showed where McDonald's said, serve coffee 190 degrees. Coffee is to be prepared at 190 degrees. So for years we've talked about frivolous lawsuits, and she's become the poster child for frivolous lawsuits. Suing because you burned yourself. McDonald's had violated laws overcooking the coffee.
Oh.
Everybody knows coffee's hot, but you don't expect it to be in 190
No,
degrees. And when you drop it on your lap and she had to have 7 different skin graft
Ouch.
surgeries. She had to have 7 different skin graft surgeries.
Coffee should be like 110 degrees Fahrenheit, not 190. That's nuts.
Yeah, so there's that
That's
story that goes out. It gets put out because
40.
McDonald's is the one who started those memes before they were memes. You know, frivolous lawsuits, stupid customers.
Yeah, 3rd degree burns.
Okay, everybody has spilled coffee, okay? Everybody has spilled
look.
coffee and burned our fingers, burned our hands, whatever. We've all done it. But we never needed skin grafts. So that's the tragic truth. And she became the laughingstock and now the meme, and everybody refers to her case. In fact, there's a company a legal company that puts out frivolous lawsuit awards named after her. And she never, there's a great true story. I wish I could remember her name right now. And she tried to settle out of court multiple times, and McDonald's wouldn't do it. And so finally she sued, and when it looked like she was going to lose the case, McDonald's finally did settle. And she didn't make $5 million. She settled for $200,000.
Those of you on Celsius, that's 87.7 degrees.
87.7 degrees Celsius. Okay,
Oh, they have to
coffee's
be.
not supposed to be that hot, but McDonald's corporate practice was cook it that hot.
Wow.
At the time. Now it's nothing above 160, and even then 160 is probably too hot.
but the law at the time, yeah, I don't drink coffee either. I hate coffee. Never. I've had maybe 3 sips of coffee in my life. I've tried it 3 different times, and I just, ugh, I hate the smell of it. And everybody in my family growing up drank coffee. My sibling, my son drinks coffee. I took him out to breakfast one day, and he ordered a coffee, and I'm like, who are you? When did you start drinking coffee? Oh, about 5 years ago in Germany, Dad. Because Joyce and I don't drink coffee.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Speaking of, Val has an interview on Monday. AJ would like to eat earlier so they can get back and she can get a good rest.
Sure.
Yeah, we want to eat like 4 or 5 o'clock.
I guess 4 or 5 o'clock. I'll just skip lunch.
Yeah.
And start cooking. Yeah, I hate the taste and smell of coffee.
Chris, we're going to need you guys here a lot earlier than normal if you're still on.
Hey, Chris and Lynn, if you're watching, did you hear that? AJ has to have dinner early on Sunday, so...
Let's do it at 5.
We're going to put food on the table at 5. You hear that, Kyan? We're eating at 5.
Can't drink hot drinks above 60 due to skin on my lips. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Yeah, that is bad when you burn your mouth like that.
Yeah.
Not fun.
So...
Oh, turn you back on.
So sadly, yeah, lots of things...
I etched you out. Oops, gotta put you back on.
So sadly, there's a more tragic story than the... But that's how corporations work. You know, they saw a chance to paint this in a bad light.
Landlord's doing a European barbecue.
Who?
Artie. So you said, come on over.
It's a European barbecue.
What do we think of a European barbecue?
Is he doing bratwurst and schnitzel? Or chicken?
We did a couple grill fests with our German partners. And yeah, it was bratwurst and pork, fillets.
Yeah,
and chicken.
Artie says, skin on my head is thinner than a newborn baby's skin.
Ooh, that's not good.
Check out Joyce's arms.
Yeah, skin on my arms is terrible.
Joyce, if you sneeze on Joyce's arms, she bruises.
You
They're
saw
not
Loco on
technically
eBay.
bruises.
It might be the one that was the cars. Can you send a link, Randall? Artie's thick-skinned everywhere but the top of his thing. I see T-scale.
In T-scale? No, I haven't.
That
I've
would
seen
be
them in
bigger,
TT
right?
scale, but not T-scale. T-scale is smaller than Z-scale. T-scale is now the smallest scale.
Oh, wow.
Märklin,
Okay.
Märklin lost their claim.
Not alphabetically sound.
No, not anymore. No. Well, it started numerically and then got lettered.
Yeah.
Because it started at 0, and then there was half 0, H-O,
Right.
and it became O scale instead of 0 scale. And then there's S scale and Z scale. And of course, Märklin called it Z scale because they figured it was the last. You can't get smaller than this. And some guy in Japan said, hold my
Watch
beer.
me. Yeah.
I'm sorry, he's from Japan. He said, hold my sake.
Right. Hey, y'all.
Actually, it was an American who
first.
It was an American, I think, who first came up with it, but it was a Japanese guy who developed it. And
hey, y'all, if you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button for
pretty good, but we broke 50 likes last week.
I know. See if we can break 50 again, please. Hey, only 25 people in. Got you up to 44.
I don't think we ever broke 30, but we might have.
31.
30 viewers today. I don't think we ever had more than 30 at one time.
So a quieter day.
Andy Dobson says hi to Joyce.
Oh, hi, Andy.
See, I've been looking at it, and the thing is, it's got to be AC.
Yeah, I was talking to my son. They went to Cedar Point, which is a big amusement park near us. And he said, Mom, do you do Dramamine before you do it? And I said, well, I have. I said, but you got to give it a lot of time to sit because the last time I did it, I had a rather out-of-body experience on one of the roller coasters. I was like behind and it was really weird. And he says, well, it is a mild hallucinogenic, like it is.
Yeah.
So, he's a chemist among his other things, so he knows. So, anyway, he toughed it out.
Yeah,
but
he's a chemist, but when you say chemist to the UK people, that means
he's
a pharmacist.
That's right. So he is he works in the chemistry field. How's that? What did he say the best way to describe his job? Was it biology?
A biochemist, something.
Biochemistry?
Biochemistry. He's working in biochemistry right now.
I mean, he's splitting cells. He's growing cells. He's rearranging DNA. We're terribly proud of him.
Or scared of him.
Could be that too. But
We're proud of him and scared of him at the same time.
he's got very mushy. You were too busy to read the text he sent me back.
Oh, okay.
It was very sweet.
Boy, that's a well lit up.
And he went with that
ICE
country
4.
song for our mother song dance. He listened to all of them on YouTube and said, "That's the one, Mom."
Okay.
Basically, the lyrics is, "You were everyone's mom. There would be no wars because you'd make us all be friends." Well, that's not wrong. Ouch. Potato grafting on your left hand?
And potato skin on his left hand. And Mr. Potato Head's not happy about it.
Wow. Yeah, AJ is very smart. We did well by that boy. I mean, I interviewed you. I can tell you because my sisters are here. I had to interview Val for a thing we're doing. And what do you love best about AJ? And she said his compassion. Very proud mom moment there. And
No,
Dad.
The
Yeah.
funny thing is, all the kids try. I don't know if they intentionally did or not. They chose fields that, through my life, I said it's either an area like my one daughter, Lynn, my oldest child. She is artistically so gifted. Photography,
Yes,
design, all that stuff. She, like I said, she runs her own sign making business. There are signs on cars and restaurants and businesses
Call
around
them
Toledo that
Lindy
she
cars.
designed and made
Yeah.
over the last 10 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't draw a stick figure without it looking retarded. And of all the academic fields, chemistry was my least favorite. I mean, I did well in it in high school, but it was not one I was interested in or cared about. Physics was more interesting to me. Biology was a bit more interesting to me. So my son went into chemistry, the one field that I was like, I'm not going to try to be an expert in. And then my daughter Elizabeth went into
Plants.
botany, basically plants and that, and she's a whiz kid with that, but that's not what her job is, but that's what she got her
She's in the
degree
cable
in.
system.
She works for the local cable system.
Well, she's making more money that way.
The problem with my daughter is she is very antisocial and does not, after years of working with customers, she wanted a job where she did not have to work with customers. And unfortunately, when you're designing and building landscapes and putting in gardens for people, you have to deal with customers. And she just does not want to do that. She does not like working with customers. It's all part of who she is. And so she's got a job now where she doesn't...
Hi, Jerry. We are almost
Hey,
out.
Jerry, how are
bud.
you? So she got a job where she does not have to deal with
Yep.
customers.
Well, yeah, she's got all kinds of
People she has to deal with, salespeople and that
subs
she
and things
deals
like
with.
that
but
that come in, but she doesn't have to be nice to them. So
she's basically working in a warehouse where she
she is in a warehouse.
takes in and replaces cable equipment
Right.
for the various independent dealers and the company that hires them.
It's kind of. Do you want me to go off or you want to?
No, we can start doing it here.
So you really came in on the end there,
Honey, they
Jerry.
never come in early.
Huh?
The food, it's always delayed. And I'll get a text saying it's almost here. You'll hear my phone beep.
That's true. All right.
You can relax, my child.
I'm not your child.
What?
I'm not your child.
You're not my child?
No, dear. Oh, you've been listening for a while. That's good. It's the insanity that makes up Anthony's lifing. Do I have anything to turn
Just
off?
random
Doesn't look
whatever.
like it.
Oh, you got the UK stuff.
I do have the UK, guys.
You gotta get that UK stuff off.
They're moving lovely.
Oh yeah, well they're the two best runners of my UK stock. Two best runners of my UK stock. So anyhow, we are gonna cut this just a little bit short, just to be on the safe side.
Yeah.
Our dinner time is coming, and it's coming.
Oh, Andy has a big question.
Okay,
Guess we
what's the
can
big
wait
question?
For that.
All right, ask the big question. We can wait.
Oh, a nail broke.
Oh no!
It's annoying. Thank you, Dino.
Well, don't leave yet. We gotta see what
Yeah,
Andy's big
shoot,
question is.
Andy. We gotta go.
Come on, Andy, type it in. Wait, nobody can leave yet. Andy's got a big question.
It was no pants Friday. Well, not here.
Well, we definitely get more viewers.
Class 68 TPE black. Douglad? Douglad?
Douglad.
Okay, what about it?
Black
That's not a
Douglad?
question.
Oh, does Daypool make this
okay.
model?
Now it's a question.
See, I want a Class 68 Daypool TPE, Trans-Pennine Express, even though Trans-Pennine Express probably isn't going to be around much longer.
The answer is in the infirmary.
Or the Infinity or something. All right, so anyhow, we are going to cut this. I want to thank everybody that came out and spent
go
some of their
Browns.
Friday with us. Yep, go Browns. People are expecting some things. The Lions knocked off the Chiefs last night. The
that's
Lions knocked off the
amazing.
Chiefs last night. The Lions are an up-and-coming team. The Detroit Lions were not a joke last year.
Okay.
They have got it happening. Jared Goff is reborn in
Okay, so
Detroit,
Digger
and
has a
they've got a
question,
great
wait.
coach.
Digger says wait.
Wait, Digger's got a question now.
All right, come on, guys. I really
This is just delaying tactics
I
now.
gotta go to the band.
Well, go. I'll shut down, but you got to do your part,
I have
don't
to
you?
do my part.
All right. Well, we're
It's
gonna.
teacher bladder, you know.
All right. We could do questions. We could.
Digger doesn't have a question.
Who would win in a fight, an octopus or a shark? Depends on the
Oh,
sizes.
Snap, you guys are delayed.
They are delayed. All right. So anyhow, on behalf of her and myself, on behalf of the group of ourselves, I hope. No, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the group of ourselves, and I hope we passed the audition. But anyhow.
Oh, Sean beat us, you asshole.
Hey! Oh, you crossed her. You made her cuss on a live stream, Sean. You made her cuss on a live stream. All right. Anyhow, we will say Auf Wiedersehen
Choose.
and happy trades. Take care,
Bye.
everybody.
You didn't get my buy in there.
You did.
He didn't.
Oh, he didn't get your buy.